This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. So from here, the focus goes back to Kane, where Bear and Taker get Kane committed to a mental hospital with a straitjacket and everything. Boy, we're knee deep in the story. And now it's time for one of the more controversial moments that you're going to yell and fuss and cuss about as we discuss it. But it's the infamous angle where the Undertaker puts Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cross.
It's a symbol.
And raises it to make him look like he's crucified, like Jesus.
Nobody wanted him to look like Jesus. Steve had no hair.
Will you stop? Serious business. We've talked about this before. I know you're going to just keep saying it's a symbol, it's a symbol, it's a symbol. But clearly we're looking for some symbolism. And I get it. I'm not upset about it. I wasn't offended. I want to know what you think Taker thought of the creative to do this.
I don't really remember, frankly. Obviously we did it and it was controversial, but I don't remember any pushback really.
Well, there was pushback online, famously Bob Ryder from OneWrestling.com, which was probably the premier wrestling website back then.
Like a couple hundred people were up in arms.
He called it Raw is porn. I'm sure you at least heard that. The sexual nature of the product with the suckets and the scantily clad women. But now I think it's the religious overtone here that maybe made a few people say, fuck man, is there no line? Did you think when you first saw it, before doors are open and you know what the creative is and you see it in real life, does any part of you, I'm not asking were you offended, I know the answer there. Does any part of you think, man, we might piss some people off kind of the wrong way with this? Maybe we shouldn't do that. Does that even cross your mind?
I think people ask that question. I didn't necessarily ask that question. I think that when it depends on how you view the product. If you view the product as entertainment, then it's entertainment, and you take it as entertainment and don't take it too seriously. So, those that had their beliefs. I don't particularly share those beliefs.
Do you remember any blowback or any discussion or any talent, or is there anything else you can tell me about the symbol?
Again, I don't remember anybody pushing back on it at all. I think that for the most part, it was what it was, and those that had their comments made their comments, but nobody came to me like, oh my God, this is terrible. That didn't happen.
Did you guys kind of agree, maybe we shouldn't do that again? Or I'm just wondering, did you ever find the line? I guess is what I'm trying to, cause listen, as you know, I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, and I think in comedy, there are no limits. So you just try things and the rules don't apply in a comedy setting. And I kind of feel like you think that about pro wrestling. Like, hey, the rules don't apply in pro wrestling. Nothing's off limits.
No, that's not it. I think that there are certain aspects of entertainment that can be controversial, and depending upon your viewpoint, you may view it one way or the other. And that's provocative, and that will cause people to think and cause discussion and maybe get people engaged in a conversation about it, good and or bad. Not saying that it's something that is cut and dry, that this is good, this is bad. I think that it was provocative, and I think it was controversial. Those people that are going to take out of it are going to take out of it whatever they want to take out of it. Would you do it again? That's up for debate.
But you're okay with wrestling being a thought-provoking form of entertainment. It doesn't necessarily need to be sort of a lowbrow popcorn movie. Don't have to think about it. It's a fun escape, blah, 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 right?
Should be all of those things. It should be a fun escape, but it also should get people talking and hopefully, touch a button or two.
Right.
hit the emotion button. Get someone mad, make someone happy. It's all those things.
In your opinion, is there something, does go away heat exist? Is there such thing as bad heat, or is all heat good heat?
No, I do think there's such thing as bad heat. And sometimes, it's again, that's something that, is subjective, and that's something that everybody is going to have their own opinion on.
Is there a place where we think we could draw the line between a fan hating a character for what, quote unquote, he did, versus we hate the company for what they did? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But it's also, I think that sometimes the media, the internet, the social media, what have you, have created a voice for about 8% of our population, where they can be loud and they can hide behind a keyboard, or they can hide behind a phone, or they don't have to actually get out and do anything and or face anything, that it's very easy to critique, and it's easy to blame, and it's easy to dissect and break it apart. But I think that it is all subjective, and there comes a point where it is, if it's something, that from my vantage point, you look at, especially when my kids were younger, if you have trouble explaining it to your kids, you probably shouldn't do it. But that's my compass. And I try to throw back to that, and I would ask myself that question.
Very much the era where Stone Cold has been using the Smoking Skull Championship. It's probably one of the first, I guess, besides the $1 Million Championship, and that was just a made up title. But we're not using the traditional, Big Eagle or whatever they call it. It's a custom that is for the specific champion. What'd you think of that? The Smoking Skull Championship.
I loved it in theory, and to make Steve stand out and be unique. I thought it was pure genius. The old school in me, was kind of like, there's a championship that everybody wants to vie for, and you want to hold that prize. You want to hold that trophy, that championship. So, a little old school in me that felt that way, but at the same time, I thought that the belt that was made for Steve was awesome.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.